free minor nationalities. This is 17. I'm redoing this from about an hour ago. I did it outside and using YouTube, the webcam capture device from my Microsoft Webcam X1000. I didn't like how it turned out, so I deleted it. The topic is people that all act alike, talk alike, think alike, and you're oblivious. You're like looking outside, kind of wondering why you're not acting like anybody else. You're an individual, and you know, you appreciate your individuality and talking about not being in a group. Now, if anybody feels like this, I'd like some feedback via video response, you know, a podcast or, you know, vlog. As always, I don't like email or typing, but the point I'm trying to make is, I was talking to somebody, it was a hardware technician at he dealt with like a little bit of networking or hardware, and we were talking about on the topic of Indian call centers in the course of conversation, where the call centers in India, you know, they would say their name is Bill or Mike. You know, your name is not Joe or Mike. You're told to say that, so you try to identify with people in the U.S. You know, which to me is stupid. Because you know, be who you are. And it's like a one-dimensional kind of a robot, kind of a persona, kind of an attitude where they have heavy accents, and supposedly they have master's degrees. People in India. Well, I don't have anything against people in India, but I'm just seeing I'm calling it like I see it. I don't have any limits here. We don't have any limits, so we're going to talk about some of the stuff that nobody else talks about, or well, some stuff that nobody else talks about. But I don't talk about it. Maybe you think you will, but you know, you try to get help, and it's like a robot kind of a response from call centers in India, the call center agents. Why the heck would you farm out? It's not about money. If you're trying to save a buck, you're losing a hell of a lot. You're told, maybe not, the employees, the call center agents are told not to, you know, socialize with the callers or whatever. You know, red tape doesn't solve anything. There's a quote. It says, it's from Thomas Edison. Hell, there are no rules here. We're trying to accomplish something. There's also another one. Examine what is said, not who speaks. Arabian Proverb. Arrogance diminishes wisdom. The wise man changes his mind, and fool never. These are some words of wisdom that, you know, maybe you don't care about or anybody else does, but this is why our society is the way it is. If we use more of our mind instead of being out of sight, out of mind, well, of course there's a price to pay. You see all the BS that comes with it. Ignorance is kind of a bliss. People don't have to deal with the problems. And yes, I'm aware of the movie The Secret, but you know, it's not going to stop me from being who I am and trying to speak the truth. I'm not going to apologize for trying to speak the truth, regardless if it's negative or positive. If I don't say it, will you? You know, the point is, for example, I eat other Asians. Now I'm Chinese. I see other Chinese people, or Vietnamese or Japanese, Mike Tran, Duke Vong, you know, they changed their last name and changed their first name and kept their last name as Asian. Well, that's half-assed. Or you get the Asian girl that has blonde highlights of blonde hair, brown hair, and acts white. You're not white. You're not Caucasian. Stop. You're doing a disservice. You're doing a disservice to the culture. A degeneration of the culture. Are they aware of that? I know people that are raised here, they can't help with the way they talk. If I talk, I sound white, but I ended up like this. I don't want to be like this. I could be in Germany and speak German, or France and speak French, or in Russia, or have an accent, or in England I have a British accent. And you see African American people who have British accent. It's the way where they were raised. We have an arrogance among our culture, so yes, we do. And I don't have any limits here. So if I talk about stuff that offends you, well, get in line, because there's a lot of other people that's already been there and done that. I'm going to say the same thing I say to you to say to them. I'm trying to speak the truth, and if the truth hurts, it is what it is. Now, I'm an intellectual, but I don't claim to know all Einstein's theories and know the configuration to how to launch a space shuttle, or the mathematical equation of the formulas of every physicist, but I derive logic and reasoning to get an educated conclusion. In other words, also, in layman's terms, in a very fundamental, rudimentary way, I'm open-minded. I use my reasoning ability, analytical ability, critical thinking skills. Getting back to what the point is the race and nationality has something to do with the way people act. How we were raised, the culture of African American people, or black people. Let's just speak plainly here. Black people. Okay, nigger. N-I-G-G-A. Not nigger, not N-I-G-G-E-R. Nigger. That means, what, friends? Or the culture. I'm talking about how people all act the same, talk the same. I've been dealing with, observing this for the last 20 years or more, plus. It's like a daily event. The only person that ever really comes close to how my persona is a person in my name of Craig Kessler, which I'm doing my new Vodcast podcast show with. Intellectual Givers with Craig Kessler and Rick Marlowe. Look for us on Twitter and YouTube and Blog Talk Radio and all those other good things here. But, however, I'm trying to pinpoint exactly what I'm seeing. Now, live and let live. I'm all for live and let live. But I'm also going to point out what I see. I'm not just going to ignore it just because I want to say live and let live. I'm going to point it out. And the Asian woman that had blonde hair, brown hair, is doing a disservice to the culture by acting white. Or like in my previous show, and I don't want to make this that show, but going out with Caucasian, black, Mexican, ignoring the Asian men, which is also an insult. I'm pretty sure Caucasian men don't appreciate, some Caucasian men don't appreciate certain white women going out with black men and Mexican men when they feel that, they should give their own race a try first. But do they? That's exactly what I'm saying. Goes both ways. I seem to be, now I know one of the reasons I am like the way I am, because I'm not a conformist. I'm a very unique individual. But I want to know if anybody else feels like this, because you can jump to conclusions. I've been there, done that, and I just want some objective feedback, because I'm trying to remain objective. As always, check out my other movies, and we'll see you next time.